What's up, guys? This is Chris Kael from Five Finger Death Punch with Scandazia. It is a different vibe for sure. I think one of the things that I like about coming to Europe is, in comparison to the States, we get to play the States a lot. So people know that, if you miss us one time, then we're probably going to come back, a few months later because that's where we live. It's easy for us to play there. But Europe, some of the places that we're playing, we haven't been here for years. So there's a real big sense of excitement and anticipation out of the fans over here, and that certainly is shown out of the crowds when we're up there playing. There was certainly some anger on this thing, for sure. Went through a lot of struggles on this record while recording, a couple of personal conflicts and whatnot. But that's the way Death Punch works. The more angry we are at each other, the better the material comes out. And we are five alpha males all fighting to get our voice heard on this thing, and it shows on the record that we all can get together and put out a great record. So be ready, it's coming. August 28th on the thing. Got your 6. Basically, it's like if you're in a flight formation, imagine, the face of a clock. You're here in the middle. The person at 12 o'clock on the clock is in your front. The person at 6 o'clock is at your back. So the person behind you is kind of watching out, making sure everything's good, thus got your 6. We've had a lot of fans come up and tell us all the time that, you guys have gotten us through so much, and we just kind of want to let the fans know that at the end of the day, we appreciate all of you, and we do in fact have your 6.
I heard from God today, and she sounded just like me. What have I done, and who have I become?
Oh yeah, for sure. Those guys, that sort of came through organically, really. We would always ask at the shows before Bad Company came on, hey, how many of you guys and ladies out there have served or are serving in the military? And a majority of hands would go up, and we were like, okay, something's happening here. We're touching some people. And our job is easy. Those guys have an incredibly difficult job. They're being thrown into positions that even the toughest guys, I like to consider myself tough, but I ain't that tough, some of the conflicts, they're trained to run towards problems. And, like for instance with the PTSD and the homeless vets over here, or in the States that we were dealing with last time, it's not that people don't want to help in the government, it's that the funds aren't there. We're fortunate enough to have a big voice that is influential and fans who actually care. So we're able to use that voice in a positive manner and help out people however we can. And that was one of the campaigns that we did recently. I'm sure we'll do some other stuff. I know we've done suicide prevention and some other things as well. So, it's nice to have this big voice and be able to positively affect lives, for sure.
I've been 1,000 places and shook a million hands. I don't know where I'm going, but I know just where I've been.
Without saying the name, we were doing a festival a while back, and obviously I've got the big beard, and one of my idols that I didn't think he knew who the hell I was came up to me and was like, hey, I hate to be that guy, but can I get a selfie with you? And my inner 13-year-old was thinking, what the hell just happened? So without giving away any names, that was a big thing for me to think that the person that I grew up essentially worshiping back in the day was now wanting to get a selfie with me for social network purposes. Pays to have this beard, people. Pays to have this beard.
Through my eyes, there's a fire within. Hate to admit it, but I always knew violence and sin.
I think at the end of the day, once this is all done and I want to completely disappear, that's the only time it would come off. Yeah, because right now, Zoltan and I were walking through the airport a little while ago, and as soon as we got in the airport, boom, people right towards us. And Zoltan just looked at me and goes, I'm not walking with you anymore. because I have the thing, where I'm coming towards you. You can see it the whole way I'm coming to you. It gives you time to register. Like, yeah, that's him. That's him coming through this way. But with Zoltan, he's got his dreads behind, so by the time he goes past, he's already gone, and you got to be quick with Zoltan. But me, you got a couple of minutes notification that I'm coming through.
I'm gonna change history and light in the world. Teach them how to see through my eyes. I'm gonna lash that check down, train to last a heart attack. Stomp out all the other.
If I were to cover a Judas Priest song, the song that I would want to do is probably Riding on the Wind. Riding on the Wind. Because I'm a motorcycle guy, and this past, it was like February or something, I was driving through Vegas out in the middle of the desert, and I had that on the speakers on the Road Glide, and it just kind of all came to me at that moment. It's like, you know what? This summer, I'm spending my entire summer with Five Finger Death Punch, touring with Judas Priest in Europe. So that was kind of one of those moments that I look back fondly, and to cover that song and to be able to have that feeling every time I played that song, that's probably what I would do, Riding on the Wind, off of Screaming for Vengeance. Kids, check it out.
I'm under and over it. I'm under and over it. I'm under and over it.
If I was trying to convince them, I would just give them Metallica Master of Puppets. That's all the convincing you need. If you don't like that, the hell out. You're not welcome here. Oh, huge for bands. We live in a time now where that connection is very strong between fans and bands. There used to be a time when you had rock stars. There's still a few out there, but generally speaking, that's kind of old and blasé at this point. We're just people that we write good music. We took some chances and got a little bit lucky. 4 years ago, I was out there in the crowd hoping to do the same thing. So me personally, I'm very connected to the fan experience. Social networking has been huge for me. I joined big bands 4 years ago, and I pretty much came from nowhere. I was a kid in Vegas playing with cover bands and jumping up on stage, taking up other people's attention. Sorry, Sin City Sinners. And I knew at that point when I got into band that I was with a band who'd been together for 5 years and had really taken off. I was a new guy. How could I elevate myself to where they were popularity-wise? I was a new guy. No one knew who I was. I took social media and ran with it. It's been great for me. I'm actively involved in Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I love all that stuff. I'm pretty much a social networking whore. If you follow me on those platforms, you definitely know I'm on there all the time. I think I've been here in Paris for 6 hours, and I think I've already put 4 posts as it is today. So yeah, I'm very excited and happy to be here. And anybody that follows me on social networking knows that I'm excited to be here. You can follow me at 5FDP Chris Kael.
Don't know where I'm going, but I know just where I've been. I've flown a million miles and I roll so many more. Every day a castaway, a vagabond, battle born.
Originally, my biggest dream was pretty much to put out a record. I've done that with Death Punch. To tour the world. I've done that with Death Punch. Complete Europe, that was a huge one for me. I've done that with Death Punch. Download, done that with Death Punch. God, and I think the next big one for me is coming up September 4th back in the States. I grew up in Lexington, Kentucky, and I'm a huge University of Kentucky basketball fan. And we're playing my hometown where the Wildcats play as well. So I'm like fanboy, super excited. It's my first real hometown show. We played Louisville last year, but Louisville's on down the road. This is an actual hometown show. So September 4th at Rupp Arena in Lexington, Kentucky. That's pretty much the end of the bucket list. There's some stuff I've got going on up here that I will get to at some point. But as far as musically goes, that's a huge September 4th at Rupp Arena. Coming home, Lexington. Buy 'em now. You know, I walked into this venue today and immediately remembered that we had played here back with Avenged Sevenfold. The thing that I remember about the Paris crowd that day is I think I was trying to Skype my wife, or maybe I was talking to her on the phone, I can't remember. But the crowd was so loud during Avenged Sevenfold singing along that it was impossible for me to talk to her on the phone. So I had to come outside to be able to talk to her. So I'm incredibly excited about the vocal crowd here in Paris. And thank you guys. Love you.